Welcome back to another episode of Pursuit of Freedom here on Finding Freedom. And it's a good day, right? It's a good day. It's Wednesday, August 7th. Recording here about 3 p.m. in the afternoon, right before I head out to cut the grass today. It's one nice thing about having more flexibility in the schedule. You can do things like that. I was going to do it earlier, but rained last night, so I had to let the grass dry out. Got a couple things I want to get into talking about today. I just listened to an interview with Vivek Ramaswamy and Mark Cuban. I guess it was a podcast. I just watched it on Twitter. It was a video uploaded to Twitter. And Vivek, I mean, I'm a fan of Vivek. There's not too much that he says that I don't agree with him on. Mark Cuban, on the other hand, is a guy that I think is a brilliant business mind. Obviously, you can't question the success that he's had in selling businesses at the right time and investments and hedging his investments. You know, some of the greatest investments in the history of investing. And he's a guy that actually graduated from the same high school I did, albeit many years before I graduated. But Cuban's politics are very different than mine, and probably the most of you who listen to this show. But it was interesting, to hear two people, Vivek and Mark Cuban, who are so different, at least politically, and just hear a conversation with a back and forth on some of these disagreements and policies, from climate change to ESG. I think it's educational just to understand where people are coming from, because honestly, you don't hear these conversations with both sides who aren't screaming at each other or talking in sound bites in a long form format, which I think is helpful. And as Vivek pointed out, it helps to remind people that you don't have to hate the people that you disagree with, on the other side of the political aisle. Of course, I would prefer that everyone agrees with everything that I think, but that's not going to happen in most cases. And I was reminded of that in this past weekend when I was on a fishing trip with my friends. The three guys I was with, I would call them pretty apolitical, but they are not in favor of Donald Trump. So they're of the thinking that they will vote for anything that is not Donald Trump. And there's really no budging off of that. And unfortunately, that is a large portion of the populace. And I wish that we could just have some conversations. And actually, on this trip, we did have conversations just talking about, culturally, things that we agreed on. And I think that in that case, with myself and my three friends, I think there was a lot more that we agreed on than we didn't. But yet it's so hyper separated between Trump and now Kamala. And honestly, you could insert any Democrat, face in there, and the media would prop them up and say they're the greatest thing ever. It's more just against Trump than anything else. It's not in favor of really anything on the other side. But this show is not about politics, but I would recommend that interview. And I think from a business perspective, it is interesting hearing at the very beginning about some of Cuban's investments that he made when he sold his streaming service to Yahoo, and he received Yahoo shares, and he couldn't invest it for a period of time. And actually, he made his money in a hedge for the tech industry to go down in that time that he couldn't do anything with those Yahoo shares. So that's where he made his initial fortune, which is pretty fascinating. So getting into what I wanted to talk about today, I want to talk about marketing briefly and the shift that has happened and will continue to happen in the marketing industry and sales in general. So obviously, traditionally, and I think the reason I'm talking about this, just to frame it up, is, because this is one of the businesses that I am very much so involved with. Plexus is a network marketing company. The way that they market their product is through individual brand ambassadors who go out, share about the products, and then refer people to the Plexus products. It's a business that's been around for a long time. It has got much easier to do with technology and with shipping being so much quicker today, and drop shipping and all of that stuff. But just to speak to marketing as a whole. So, of course, the legacy marketing, traditional marketing, the corporate model where companies hire their marketing and advertising teams, they make their TV ads, they make their print ads, and they market that way. And of course, they use famous people and celebrities and athletes in order to gain credibility as they are marketing these products, so people can more identify with the products. A person, some of them maybe from a sports standpoint, maybe they're more emotionally attached to because that person helped to win their sports team a championship, so they're more likely to go out and buy the cereal that sports personality is recommending. And what we've seen as a shift with that in influencer marketing, rather than, of course, there is still TV marketing, there is still radio and print marketing, but the largest, fastest growing segment is in influencer marketing, which I would consider podcast marketing as a piece of that. I'm selling ads on podcasts, but it's going directly to the source, either to the social media profile or the podcast or the streamer or whatever, and marketing products through that. And that has opened up a whole nother channel for corporations to get their products to market. And it's also, I think, in a good way, decentralized this ad spend and helped regular people to profit off of it, to make some money, rather than the corporations being the ones and the celebrities and famous people and athletes being the ones to really have that the skill set required to do it based upon their this place that they've achieved within society. Now, really anybody can do it. And of course, these influencers you see on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok and different streaming apps. I don't even know, it's crazy. You see these things today, like Donald Trump was just interviewed by some 23-year-old kid who is a streamer. I don't even really know what streamer means. Maybe it means lots of different things. I know one aspect of it is like playing video games and just kind of, talking as you're playing video games. People tune in to watch that. But this kid interviewed Trump at Mar-a-Lago, gave him a gift, a Rolex as a gift, gave him a Cybertruck as a gift with it emblazoned on the side of it, the iconic picture of Trump with the three Secret Service agents covering him up and him pumping his fist with blood dripping down his face. He gave that as a gift to Trump. So how much money does this 23-year-old kid have? That should open up your eyeballs to think about the transfer of wealth that is happening from the old model to the new model. And you don't have to have some huge following, to start to dip your toes in this in these marketing waters. And the way that I do it is through Plexus supplements that I trust, a company that I believe in, that aligns with my values. And I've gone out and made that decision to work with Plexus because of that, because of the products, because of the company, and because of the owners, because of it being debt free. And you're able to do the same thing. And you don't have to have a sales background. You don't have to have a huge network. These are things that really, of course, it helps to have a huge network. It might help to have a sales background and be able to talk to people. But these are things that can be learned like any other skill. So really, more than anything, I just wanted to talk about and really it really just jumped out to me when I saw this 23-year-old kid giving these, and maybe he's probably wasting his money. He is wasting his money by doing that. But the fact that he even has that money to waste, it should open your freaking eyes up just to the amount of money that is out there in the marketing sector, and the ability for anybody to step up to the plate and grab some of it. And I've mentioned before that for Nicole and I, our Plexus business is a nice stream of income. Of course, it doesn't cover everything that I lost when I lost my job, but it is a buffer that gives us, a little bit of a buffer that, of course, now I'm more doubling down on that, on expanding it, so it's more of a buffer. But it's real. It's real money that you can spend on a mortgage and a car payment and on your utilities and groceries, whatever. So just encouragement, something to look at. If you have any questions about it, feel free to reach out. So just two more things I want to talk about. What other things I've been working on. So the land investing business did pull me back in, which was good because I wasn't finding the time to really get back into it on my own. We had one of our clients who we sold property to years ago that we sold we sold a seller finance deal, meaning that we own the property and we sold it on terms. So essentially, we're acting as the bank. Sold it. I think it was a 60-month deal at 9%. He's making monthly payments. Anyway, he reached out to say he's about $2,000 left on his loan, and he said he wants to pay it off, which is great. I'd rather have all the money right now than have it going month to month. But the reason you do that month to month, spread it over time, is you can make a deal for a larger amount of money, and you open it up to a larger client base who might not have the lump sum up front to purchase that piece of property. So that was good. Left a message for that guy. Hopefully got the ball rolling there. Followed up with another, just a deal that we've been a headache for years for me and my business partner in land investing. This is a guy that we sold land to years ago who and today I would do this differently. For when we first started doing these deals, there's different forms you have to fill out. I won't go too into detail. Anyway, there's different forms. There's a form that he has to sign. The deed, when we sign the deed over to close the deal, there's different ways to do it. I mean, you can close it with a title agent, but when a deal is small, if it's only a couple $1,000s, I'm not going through a title company. This was a piece of land that we bought at auction. It was a clean title, and there's no need. A title company will charge you more than the cost of the property itself, and the buyer would be paying for that, not me. So it's not attractive for them to do that. But anyway, long story short, is in this deal we were sending this. It was a preliminary change of ownership agreement that he had to sign, along with the deed, which I had already signed and had notarized and was included in there. All he had to do was sign that and send it off to the county, and this guy just never did it. So it's been just a back and forth of just trying to get this guy to claim his property with the county so we can just have it off our books. And I think we made some progress on it. There's been some back and forth. I don't know. It's something that I just want to get rid of. Very rare to lose money in this fashion on a deal, but it's happened. But I'm hopeful now that we have some movement to finally get this guy to take his property and get it off of our books. But so that's what's happening with land investing, and it was good. Kind of pulled me back into it by having to do those interactions, and now I'm excited about looking for some different areas where we can invest and flip some land. The other thing I've been working on is my podcast consulting business. Just kind of going through and really nailing down what's my experience from downloads to people I've interviewed to the length of time I've been podcasting. I did some research on some really impressive podcast consulting, like B2B type podcast consulting firms that are out there. And I'm pretty optimistic that I'll be able to line up and really undercut these guys and make some good money. So the hard part is going to be generating the leads. I think once I get the leads, I'm able to talk to people with my corporate experience, my podcast experience, I'll be able to close these deals. But that's a little bit ways off. That's going to be a few weeks before I get to that point, I think. Trying to speed that up as much as I can. Last note, no show tomorrow. Nice thing about flexibility, again, is I'm taking my daughter and my wife. We're all going to the Pirates game. It's a afternoon game, which is a rarity during the week, but sometimes on Wednesdays or Thursdays they have those. It's a great time to go to a baseball game because it's not as crowded and you can get super cheap tickets on the aftermarket, which is what we will try to do. So that's what I got going on, and hopefully you all are having a great week. Hopefully, if you're someone who is fully into the entrepreneurial space, the freelance space, hopefully you're grinding. Hopefully you've found some ways to make money. You found some activities to work on today that are going to return income, some income producing activities. If you're someone who's on the corporate side, maybe all your time is going into your job and you're trying to figure out how to do it, how to start to transition to build up some side incomes. Start small. Do one thing every day to start building up that side income. It could just be starting with research. Start small, build momentum, steps and steps and steps, and get it moving forward. And that's really the only way to do it. You need to make progress. When you halt your progress, when you stop for days or weeks or months, and then you pick it back up, you're starting all over again. So pick one thing to do to move you towards that side income, towards that business, towards whatever it is, and stay consistent with it every day. Obviously different tasks building upon what you're doing. Don't just do the same exact thing every day. But you can get there. I believe that this economy that we're in, the technology that we have today, there has never been a better time to work for yourself and create your own income. I'm going to keep fighting for that, guys. I hope you keep fighting too. And I will talk to you all on Friday.